Hey, what's going on everybody? This is my Peugeot Boxer small wheelbase self-built camper van. Now the video I'm making here is going to be a follow-up to the video I did of why you should get a camper van. Now the reason I'm doing the follow-up is because I kind of realised there was a lot more I could have elaborated on the original video, so I'm going to get into that. I also had a few comments on the video asking questions, etc., which I did reply to them all, but I'm also going to elaborate on some of them as well. So yeah, stick around, should be a good one. Let's get into it. So one of the first things I done to my van is I got alloy wheels. Now I went from 15-inch steel wheels to 16-inch alloy. I got the all-terrain tyres on. Now I like the look of them personally. I like the look of the alloys. I went for that mainly because yeah, I think it might not make much sense, but I think it makes the van look a bit less vanny, a bit more off-road, you know, got a bit more personality to it with some alloy wheels rather than the steel wheels. Now I got my alloys from a company called Wheelbase. It was online. I know a lot of van life people, van life channels on YouTube have gone to Rogue Alloy. I've seen a lot of videos who've gone to Rogue Alloy, but they're in Reading and I didn't really fancy going to Reading, if I'm honest, so I basically got them online. I had a budget of about £1,000. I went slightly over that, I believe, but yeah, I was really happy. They sent me the wheels, put the tyres on, literally all I had to do was put the wheels on. So yeah, it was just over £1,000, I believe, roughly, give or take. And funnily enough, I did get an email from them a few weeks back with a code for £25 off, so I'll put that up around now. If you know, if anybody wants to use that, that's £25 off. I could cover your shipping. Yeah, I did very nearly fall for a scam on Facebook Marketplace. I'm lucky that I didn't fall for it. I did sort of get a little into conversation with the person, and then it got to a point where they wouldn't accept PayPal, so it seemed even more fishy. But yeah, anyway, to cut a long story short, I did actually see a Facebook post from a group I'm in, and somebody did fall for the scam, so it was definitely a scam, and I felt really bad for that person, but at the same time very relieved that I didn't fall for that scam. But yeah, there is a lot of scammers about it, but I probably don't need to tell you that. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace seems to be riddled with them at the minute, so be aware of that. But yeah, so that's my alloys, very happy with them. Let's get into the garage area. Let's go. So let's have a look at the back of the van and the bed. So I have 3 IKEA Scorva beams for my bed support, which I will flash up around now. And they're on the IKEA Scorva beam brackets, which you can get from the spare parts department. I'm pretty sure they're still doing them. I got this about 3 years ago, so I know they're still doing the Scorva beams. The brackets were free. I don't know if they still are. You'd have to have a look. But yeah, that's my bed basically on 3 IKEA Scorva beams and the IKEA Scorva beam brackets, which are bolted to the side there with riv nuts. I did actually follow a video from Will's Whereabouts. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of him. He had a video showing what he did with his bed, and I basically kind of followed that pretty much. So yeah, that's my bed. It's just on a chipboard board here. Now I know some people have drilled holes into their bed to a little bit of air flow, but I've found that because I'm not, you know, living in the van, I don't seem to get much sort of moisture mold anyway, so I never did that, and it's been fine so far for the 3 years it's been in there. So yeah, just a mattress, double mattress, small double mattress, that's on the bed there. Yeah, this unit here, which has got my leisure battery in the front there, and I'll get into my leisure battery in a minute, but yeah, that's just got my leisure battery in the front there, and this is just tools, etc. So yeah, this was just an old TV unit which I chopped this bit off. So I've got the 2 drawers there and the leisure battery in the front there, and I've got my Happy Cool fridge here, which has been a 45 litre fridge. I'll flash that up around now. Got that off Amazon. That was about £180, something like that, but that's been an awesome little fridge. 45 litre fridge, but yeah, been an awesome little fridge. Yeah, no faults on that at all. Comes with your cigarette lighter and a plug. So yeah, two adaptions for that. Don't know the technical term. I'm sure there is one, DC and all of that malarkey. But yeah, so that's my fridge. Yeah, so just my cover here, Sherpa fleecy line. That was off Passenger. That was quite expensive, but I think I sort of treated myself at Christmas. Plus I like the sort of retro colour of it. So yeah, that's my bed basically, and yeah, my unit, my fridge. So let's make our way round. Right, so we move to the inside of the van now. So yeah, my leisure battery is just under here. So yeah, my leisure battery's in there. Now what I do with my leisure battery is I haven't got it attached to a split relay on the battery. I just basically I charge it up before I go away, and I'll use it for about like sort of 4 days. I haven't really pushed it too much, but I normally use it for about 4 days. And then what I tend to do is have a campsite with electricity, and I'll charge the battery up, and yeah, it's good for like another 3 or 4 days or whatever. So I've just been using my leisure battery like that, rather than have it all, because once again I don't live in the van, I just go away on holidays in the van, so I didn't see the point of having it connected to my battery, split relay, etc, etc. So yeah, I've just got the leisure battery in there, as I say, and that's just a TV unit, and I just charge that up every sort of 3 or 4 days, or basically whenever I'm at a campsite with electricity, I'll charge it up. So I've also got a Jackery, which I did get from the Black Friday sale, funnily enough. I've got a Jackery in here, which is just yeah, 300 watt Jackery. They basically, I got that as it was in the Black Friday sale, basically, as a bit of a sort of backup, really, just in case I need it. So far I haven't really needed it, but that will charge my fridge as well, probably for around possibly a day. Obviously all your devices, I mean, you know what Jackery is, you know what a portable power station is. Yeah, got that really cheap. So yeah, that's my Jackery, which will also charge my leisure battery as well. So yeah, you know, basically got enough power to be off grid for a good 4 days, I reckon. So yeah, that's my Jackery, my leisure battery. Yeah. So now I'm going to move on to the seats. That was one of my upgrades, which I'm really glad I did do. So that's what it's like with the seats, obviously in driving position, and then we're going to spin those round to show you what they're like spun round. I mean, to me it just opens up the van so much. So yeah, there they are, spun round, and yeah, to me, like I said, just opens up the van so much. And I didn't have them for the first year. I got the passenger seat The second year I had the van, and we went to Scotland for when I first had them in. We went to Scotland, and I said this quite a few times. I probably said it in the last video. They're an absolute game changer. Basically gives you somewhere to sit, opens up the van. The only downside is these single seats for the Peugeot Boxer, Citroen Relay and Fiat Ducato are basically going for quite silly money now. They're going for like £400 plus. You can get a passenger seat, and you can put that onto, sorry, you can get a driver's seat, put that onto the passenger seat, and then change the seat belt over and the armrest. But you know, that's a bit of faffing around. But yeah, I just bit the bullet and bought myself a single one. It was nearby, so I went and got it. I mean, it's a seller's market at the end of the day, isn't it? So you can also put Mercedes A-Class seats in there, I believe. They fit straight on to the swivel bases. Now, the swivel bases were, I think when I got them, they're about £120 each. They're like the CTA swivel base. And yeah, I will always have swivel seats in the van now. So yeah, I personally think they are one thing I couldn't do without. Plus, there was one time when we were in Cornwall, Tintagel, I think, and it just rained all day. We had somewhere to sit rather than laying in the bed all day. Yeah, and it's, if you've got two people in the van, you know, you've got more room basically. Yeah, I would definitely recommend swivel seats. Game changer. So one of the questions I got asked was, how do you get on not being able to stand up in the van? Now, what I did personally is I sacrificed length of the van for height in the van. So basically what I mean by that is I went for a small wheelbase because I can get it on my drive, I can get it in parking spaces, I can park it at work. Medium wheelbases are a little bit longer, but obviously you get the headroom. Now, realistically, I haven't found not being able to stand up in the van to be too much of a problem. I mean, I have to sort of tilt my head a bit, but if I'm honest, I haven't really found it an issue, to be fair. I'm a bit of a fair weather camper, so normally going away when it's good weather. I know we live in England, and you know, you can't guarantee weather anywhere, really, can you? But yeah, basically I'm a bit of a fair weather camper, so I'll go away in my camper van, and normally it's been fine. I'm either outside the van sitting in the seats here, or I'm on the bed, so don't really find it an issue, to be fair. You know, obviously being able to stand up in the van would be cool, but like I said, haven't really found it an issue. So yeah, that's the standing up situation. Yeah, I've sacrificed, like I said, length for height for length, whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, I can park it at work, I can park it in car parking spaces, because I did see as well, like, people were posting saying they were getting tickets for going over another car parking space. So yeah, I was sort of conscious of that, and like I say, my drive's not a massive drive. It would start intruding on the road a little bit if I went for, especially if I went for like an extra long wheelbase. So yeah, so far I haven't really found that too much of a problem. If I do end up getting another van, I probably would get a medium wheelbase, to be fair, but I'm very, very happy with my van at the minute, so don't really find it too much of an issue. So that's the standing up in the van situation. So one of the other things I get asked now and again is toilet. What do I do for a toilet? Now, I have got the classic van life pee bottle, which I'm presuming a lot of men have, and worst case scenario, I have an emergency bucket. Now, I tend not to do park for nights or lay-bys or, you know, places like that. I tend to go for campsites what have toilets and have showers, and that's one of the reasons I do go to campsites, because I like that kind of luxury. Also, I have mentioned in previous videos that I like the security of a campsite. I don't want the knock, I don't want the hassle of kids, doggers, whatever, the classic, you know, YouTube videos, getting eggs thrown at your van, whatever. So that's one of the reasons, although I did use Park for Night in my last video and I had no issues whatsoever. I'm not against Park for Night. It's just, you know, like I've just said, I like the security of the campsite. So yeah, toilet wise, I haven't really found that to be too much of an issue. I have got an emergency bucket, which I have used once, and that was mainly because I went to a public toilet and it was absolutely disgusting. It was worse than the toilet from the scene Trainspotting. If you've seen that movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I have an emergency bucket, which is kept underneath, and like I say, I've only used that once. So that's the toilet side of things. Other than that, I think I've covered a lot of stuff in the last video. The sticker bomb, I recently got a question on that. I got that off eBay. I don't know if there's any more of that on eBay, because I know when I bought 2 rolls myself, they had very limited stock left. So yeah, that's the sticker bomb. And I do believe that's roughly it, other than sort of, you know, seat covers, Amazon. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to comment and ask, and I will do my best to answer them questions. I'm still blown away by all of the subscribers, past and present. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. I've had some awesome comments, so thank you very much for that. Yeah, just thanks very much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Still blown away by it, very humbled. I will catch you on the next one, and thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subbed or liked, then possibly, you know, contemplate doing it. Cool, if not, no pressure. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Laters, boy.